An interesting case here of a glass being half empty or half full. This relates to joblessness. 41% of Americans tell us that they know somebody, themselves, a friend, or relative who's been laid off in the last 6 months. So that's symptomatic of the generally bad economic ratings we get when we're asking the public these days to rate the economy. That's not new. That's not a surprise. Here's what's interesting. When we ask American workers, are they themselves worried about being laid off? A surprisingly high, at least surprising to some, I think, 68% say no, they're not worried. Same thing when we say, are you worried about having your wages reduced? 24% say they're worried, and another 8% say their wages have already been reduced, but that still leaves 68% who say they're not worried. We have 64% who are not worried about having their job hours being cut back or furloughed, and so on and so forth. Now again, as I said, this is a matter perhaps of some interpretation. It is bad news that a little less than a third of Americans are worried today. That's a lot of people. But the fact that 2/3 of Americans are not worried perhaps point to a resilient psychological strength among the American workforce. Most workers are still going to work every day, doing their jobs, and it looks like a lot of them simply don't spend a lot of time worrying about the possibility of being laid off. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup poll.